What's up, you tsunami troglodytes? It's Thursday. A rainy Thursday. My morning's over with. Did what I had to do. But, as you saw, I have a couple things to talk about. First video is me crossing the 10K mark at about 49 minutes and 47 seconds. At that point in the race, I was about 580th according to the Athlinks split timing. Then you saw me cross the finish line at an hour and 45 minutes. Now, here's a couple things that I learned from running in my first half marathon. You saw the clock above me. It said an hour and 47 minutes. It took me 2 minutes to get across the starting line. So the gun goes off. That time is the timer from when the gun goes off. Now that time is going to be relevant to the elite runners who are invited from the Hartford Marathon Foundation and end up, in the first seed. They're athletes, they're sponsored runners, they're Olympians, and they get that first spot. That first spot is crucial, and here's why. There were 3,710 people running in the half marathon. Let's tack on another 8,000 people running the regular marathon. All compacted into that starting area in front of the Capitol building in Hartford on Capitol Ave. Now do you see why it took me 2 minutes to get across the starting line? Not only that, but for the first mile and a half, you're right there with the marathon runners before they split off into their course. Now, when you're somebody like me, who has a goal time, you want to get ahead, you want to get to your pace later, you want to set that pace. What I learned is that in my next marathon, I'm going to take full advantage of that crowd. I'm not going to rush through the crowd like I did. I saw people swerving and I just followed their paths. I just went along with them. Like, okay, let's do it. Let's get to the front. Which was exciting, which was exhilarating, which probably boosted a lot of my adrenaline and helped me perform the way that it did. However, at the end of the race, it might have helped me tucker out as well. By no means was I hurting or was I seizing up. I was well prepared for this. But I was getting tired. My pace for the first 5K, of course, was 7:43. And then it dropped down to 8:01, dropped down to 8:02, and the 5K is proceeding. Which means that I expended too much energy. What I learned going forward is that I'm going to keep a slower pace in the beginning. I'm just going to move with the crowd, let it get along, until we get to that point where the marathon runners and the half marathon runners split off. It might be seen as an inconvenience, it might be seen as a setback, but it actually works to your benefit if you use it the right way. Moving forward in these events, in order for me to just power through at the end and finish strong like I love to, I'm going to take it real easy in the beginning from now on. Let that crowd push me along in the beginning. Another thing I learned is that, yes, of course, this is a competition. Yes, of course, this is a race. But more importantly, you're in competition with yourself. When you saw me cross off the finish line, you saw me completely elated. I pulled my best Tom Brady impression. An hour and 45 minutes of running is no easy feat. To cover 13.1 miles in your first half marathon is an incredible feat. And that's what I was reminded of when I crossed the finish line. The people around me, the experienced marathon runners, the people who have run full marathons and decided to stick with the half because that was their best event. The people who have run half marathons their whole life. The people who have been running for their whole lives after hearing about my story and hearing about how long I've been running. They were there to remind me of how incredible what I just did was. Not only was it the goal that I had set in my mind, the goal that I had written down, the goal that I had made, the goal that I had just conquered, but the people around me that I had no idea who they were, a lot of them, they were there to congratulate me as well. For anybody to finish a half marathon in that time is incredible. The average time is around 2 hours. For athletes, they finish anywhere, and the first finisher went across the finish line in about an hour. I was the 535th out of 3,710. That's something that boosts you. That's something that adds fuel to your fire. Along with passing people during the race, that's something that it gave me surges of energy constantly, because you're constantly surrounded by people in these events. And there was no other feeling like that in my life. You're at 8 miles and you're thinking, okay, I got 5 miles left. And the person next to you is starting to slow down, and you feel great. And you just keep moving. You just keep moving. You're running at an 8-minute pace, and you're having a conversation with a 16-year-old kid from high school. Hey kid, what's up? Let's get it, young blood. I'm encouraging people along the way. People are encouraging me. I'm meeting people along the way. We're having conversations. It's an incredible environment. That's another thing I learned, is that part of the reason why I loved getting into these races was the environment that surrounds it. I finished 57th in my age group out of 188. If I was there to win, maybe I'd be a sore loser, but I wasn't there to win. I was there to beat myself. I was there to look the person who I was a year ago in the face and tell them, you're capable of so much more. And I proved it. Lastly, what I learned is, as easy as it might feel in the moment, or hard, depending on how you take it, it is an incredible expenditure of energy. It's not like those long runs that I would go on Saturday where, I would take Sunday off and I'd feel great Monday. You're running at a race pace. You're putting forth a whole ton of energy, and your body needs time to recover. I took a few days off from working out. I'm not ashamed to say that. And it's not because I deserved it. It's because my body needed it. My body needed the rest. Otherwise, I would have put myself at risk for injury, and then I'd be down and out. Then I wouldn't be able to move on to my next goal. Then I wouldn't be able to be into this phase that I'm in right now. Everything serves its purpose along this journey. The rest felt great. My body feels great. But you learn. You listen to your body, you learn. There's fuel to the fire everywhere. Eliud Kipchoge just ran a sub 2-hour marathon. I can run a marathon in 3 hours. I can qualify for Boston 2021. And I will. The reason why I will is because I won't doubt myself this time. Now, I know I said that the doubt and the anxiety is fuel to the fire, but that's not the reason why I ran this marathon in an hour 45 minutes. That's not the reason why I hit my goal. The doubt isn't the reason. I worked for it. I deserved it. I did it. Point blank period. I know what I'm capable of. Surprising myself. So that's what I'm going to continue to do. And I'm glad that you're all here for the journey. All love.